constructing a mechanism where this is example B, where the crank AD revolves in a clockwise direction about D. B is constrained to move backward and forward along the horizontal line through D. Plot the locus of P for one revolution of AD. AD is equal to 40 millimeters, AB is equal to 130, and AP is equal to 60 millimeters. Because it might be a very big drawing, I managed to tape two papers. The overleaf is taped, and that ensures to give me a smooth joint here. So first of all, I need to establish the baseline. I'll use the center. I just draw a horizontal line, any length at the moment. Onto this line, I want to set off 130 because that's the length for AB. Which is 13 centimeters. So that would be 130. Okay, that is the rod. However, we still have another revolving rod which is called AD, which is 40 millimeters. So I've set 130, then from 130 I need to set another point 40 millimeters away. Okay, once I draft, located, or identified this point, I will now move on to using my compass and using, this is point B, this is A, and this is D. From D, I'll set my compass, and then I'll open to where I had initially drafted 130. So this is 40 millimeters, and I will draw a complete circle. Okay, try to be as accurate as possible. Having drafted, I need to divide the circle now into 12 equal parts. Concepts that you learned in second form, if you don't know, then I suggest you practice, because you will always get dividing a circle into 12 equal parts. Okay, so once I have that drafted, I need now use my standard conventions to draw guideline. I use 5 millimeter. I only set one time over here because these are corresponding points. So I'll start off with the base. I'm using construction lines. And if you notice, I am not limiting myself onto the distance, because there should be no problem. It's only when you start writing then that you see where you're going to locate that point. So this is the initial B resting point. The letters should touch top and bottom, and they should be consistent with what you have practiced in second form. So this is B. Let's number. Okay, we're going to number as, we'll start, I'm following the handout that I have prepared for you, which is here. This is 0 and this is initial point A. So that's 0, 1, 2. Even though this is not in order, the concept is important to follow. Not the points in reference to the order, but we see the importance of following the concept, because that is what should prevail. Okay, and you go back to 12 again. So that's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So this rod is going to travel from, it says it goes backward and forward, that's all the movement that it does. Okay, so we have set B to A. I need now, this will be my initial point. Let's start with 0. So 0 to this point is D. Okay, or E D, which is this center point. I'll just label it as D. Okay, so that you understand, I will darken. Okay, so 0 to A, 0, or sorry, A to D is the rod that is going to rotate. That is what is rotating. Now we need, how far is O to B? This is B0, but this is not the line that you're looking for. The line that we're looking for is BA, and in this case it is 130. So every time it is positioned onto 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, it should have a distance of 130. So how do I go about getting? What I need to do now, you would use your compass. Open your compass to radius 130. What I suggest, so that you can get that distance, is don't put the tip for now, for this process, don't put the tip the same as for the pencil. So what we do, we extend the pencil a bit more, a considerable amount, and I lock in position, and then I could reach a greater distance now. So I will set at 130. Okay, there we go. So that is 130, as you can note. So every time this changes position, 0 to 1, it is 130 away. So that would be the new position as this rotates about in clockwise direction. As a new position of B. So what I do, this is 0, I position my compass at 0, and given that this is the baseline, that is where B should be located. So 0, and I will scribe. Okay, once I scribe, I identify that point. I use my ruler. Okay, and I join this to A. Once I join to A, what I need to do now is simply extend. Okay, you extend. So B to A, this is the new position of B now. This is resting point. So this is the new position. Okay, as this rotates. So now we still have another point to identify. Okay, this is the end point. This is intermediate point A. However, somewhere over here we have another point which we need to plot out, and that point is P. How far is P from A? It says that it is 60 millimeters. So from here, A, I will use my ruler now, and I will measure, and I will set off 60 millimeters. Please, small dot. Okay, because this is our first point or reference point, you can go ahead and you can darken, or you can leave as it is, but because I darkened the first one here, then I must darken this line only where I have reached P. Only where P is. It's important that you rotate your pencil as you go about draft. So this is the first, or this is the new position of the rod. So this is B0, A0, and P. Okay, that's the only one that we're going to darken right now. So it moves from 0 now to 1. So I'll set at 1 using the same distance. Remember, this distance here is 130 or 13 centimeters. I do not change this distance. I keep that constant. So I move to 1. I set at 1. And then I scribe once again. Okay. And I identify where that point is. Once I get the concept for 2 or 1, then I simply need to repeat that process. Okay. I will not darken this time. I will simply extend. I just extend. So I know from here, from 1 to P, I should have 60 millimeters. And I will not darken, but I will place a small dot. Okay, I know already where it is located. Same process. 2, compass. That's the point. Then I already have this. It coincides with the center or the baseline. From 2 now, I need to extend 60 millimeters. And there I have the other point. See? 0, 1, 2. I will do it 3 now. Point 3. So my compass. And I scribe. I see that it coincides with 1. Okay? 1 and 3 are on the same point of reference. So I join now to 3. Extend. 60 millimeters from 3. And I set another point. Okay? Do not rush. You need to understand the concept. I move on. This is 3. I move on to 4 now. 4 and A should coincide here at the same point. If you notice, it does. So join now to 4 and I will extend. Okay? Try not to darken. I think I darkened this too much. So from 4, I do 60. 4th point. Compass again, I go to 5 now. 5. Please go ahead and do 1 by 1. Okay, so as to avoid confusion, 1 line at a time. 60 millimeters. And I move on now to 6. Ruler again, 0.6. Okay, so you can follow that line. Try not to get confused. 60. Here we are. Then I go to 7. Scribe. This is 0.7. 7 is this point here. Draw a construction line. Yeah, what you could do as well, you could set your ruler just so that you can identify which line here, which end of the line, which is this one. Okay, so I set 60. Again, it's important that you do one line at a time. If you try set off all of them, then you might run into problems, that is, because you will have too much lines or too many lines. 0.8, here, so that is 0.8. 8 is this line, so 60 millimeters. See, we're starting to notice, which is here, it starts going up now. So the arrow point should be somewhere over here until it reaches 0 again. So that's 8. We go to 9, which is this, which it was the initial point we had. So from sorry, this was 7. So sorry, this one is wrong then. This point is wrong. Let me see. Oh no, okay, it's correct. Sorry, this is 8, and then this is 7. Sorry, this is 7, and then 8 should be this one, this horizontal one. My mistake. Because this line came from here. Okay, so it is 0.8. So this point here is wrong. Okay, so you see, even myself I got into problems. So this is 8.8. Let's see, 60 there. So it was not this one, but it's this here, because it should be the horizontal line. So now I go to 9, and if I see 9 and 7 should coincide, I set at 9. I know this point. I set my ruler there, 0.9, and I scribe. Okay, one line at a time, 9, and from 9 I set off 60. Okay, go to 10 now. 10, scribe. You see it coincides with 10 and 6. So this is 10. Construction line, I simply need to extend, and I get 60 millimeters. 10, 60. There we go. Then I see 11. So scribe here, and I will join this to 11. Extend. I can inclusive circle that for meantime, so that I know which line I will be setting the points on. Okay, that's the highest point. So we can see here that you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm going to go back to 0. Now what we need to do now is join. Okay, I will darken. Freehand. Okay. Take your time when you join these points. Try to ensure that it is a consistent arc and not to incline. Okay, and there we have the mechanism of example B. The only thing left is to label point P. I will label the initial P, and I need to place a subtopic. 5 millimeters for the subtopic. The subtopic always goes below the figure. So this is P. Okay, so we have B, A, P, and we call this crank mechanism 2. Sorry, crank mechanism B. Crank B, and below you write local. Okay, so that is the construction, guys. Thank you for following.